Happy Halloween, you ghouls! It truly is the most wonderful time of the year. You can watch a horror movie every day and everyone thinks that it's like kind of cool instead of sort of weird. And great people like the Engraver's Dungeon have sent me sick seasonal artwork that I'm going to be talking about at the end of the episode. But mostly, it's a reason for me to talk to you about Bollywood Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a little late with this year's Halloween episode, but I always try to do something special. A few of you might have taken part in the live stream where we watched every single Friday the 13th episode in an attempt to raise money for a charity to send kids to camp, because I'm very, very clever like that. That was a complete nightmare. But, you know, we raised some money, which is nice. This year, I'm just trying to watch a horror movie every day. So if you follow me on Twitter, which is a great website that isn't sucking the life out of me every single day, I've been trying to keep track of every movie. I'm not close to one a day, but I'm at like 16 or 17, which I think is pretty tight. So you can follow along, still looking for recommendations for this sort of final stretch. I'm going to end up watching like 6 movies a day next weekend. So let me know what you think. It's in the Twitter. It's in the description. It's all there. One movie that I will not be watching this Halloween is Mahakaal, the Bollywood Nightmare on Elm Street. And that's because, as much fun as that sounds like, Bollywood Nightmare on Elm Street, no, it's bad. It's so bad. It's a bad movie, and you wouldn't like it, and I didn't like it. The thing about a lot of Bollywood cinema is that it's long. Movies are an opportunity for people to get out of sweltering heat and into an air-conditioned theater, and as a result, they're much more likely to pay for movies that are like 5 hours. So the Bollywood Nightmare on Elm Street, Mahakaal, is 2 hours and 23 minutes. And I frankly don't need to be in air conditioning that long. Now, this movie was released in 1993, and I only became aware of it in the comments of an early This Exists episode about Turkish Star Wars. This is obviously a little bit of a fetish on this channel. Turkish Star Wars is one, North Korean Godzilla or Pulgasari is another one, and it goes on and on and on and on. But Nightmare on Elm Street holds a special place in my heart, and likely a special place in many of your hearts, because it is so insanely sick. Mahakaal is not sick like the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I think I've sort of harped on this enough, but there is an 11-minute cut down of it that someone has made on Vimeo. There is a link in the description, and that's really the best way to get a sense of just how goofy and super fun some scenes over the course of, 2 hours and 23 minutes there are. The Freddy Krueger of McCall is McCall, and unlike wisecracking Robert Englund, this guy is totally silent and not a child murderer, but instead like a magician and a sorcerer. But I prefer to think of him as an illusionist. The film copies several of the most iconic death scenes from Nightmare 1 and 2 and adds singing and dancing, which is tight if you're into singing and dancing, but not tight if you're into murder and mayhem. This film was produced by the Ramsey brothers, which is like 7 brothers who made over 30 Indian horror movies starting in the 80s and really brought gore and sleaze and Freddy Krueger type deaths into Bollywood cinema. Not all of it was good, but it's important. Now, while McCall gets all the credit for being the Bollywood Nightmare on Elm Street, there actually was a 1989 Bollywood ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street that is much less popular and somehow much less good. Kuni Murder pretty much rips off only the first Nightmare, and the villain, instead of being Freddy, is Ranjit, who dies actually like halfway through the movie when he's thrown into a fire. And it's always fire. Fire's bad in these movies. For you and Freddy. Unfortunately, no kind-hearted big Nightmare on Elm Street fan has done a sweet 11-minute cutdown of this movie on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, you have to watch all 2 hours and 4 minutes of it, which is like 19 minutes less than McCall, so you're saving yourself like almost a full Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode. Kuni Murder was directed by noted Hindi B-movie filmmaker Mohan Bakri, who made a lot of B-movies in India in the 90s, including one that I would love to read the description of on Wikipedia because it has an exclamation point in it. This is for Cheek with an H. Thakur was a cruel man in the past. Then over the passage of time, he changed to normal life and lives with his daughter peacefully, but dies an extremely horrible death at the hands of an ancient demon! Exclamation point. While I cannot recommend either of these movies for, your own 31 days of Halloween or however you choose to celebrate the season, I do encourage you to check out links in the description and watch some of the best scenes and best kills and enjoy a mulleted version of Freddy Krueger this Halloween season. And if you have other recommendations for me, please get at me. I got a few days left, and I would love to know your weirdest and favoritist Halloween movies. Now, earlier in the episode, I did mention the insanely rad art that had been sent to me by the Engraver's Dungeon, and I just wanted to let you guys know about what they do. They haven't paid me. I really just think what they do is super rad. They're a family-run business. There's two of them. They're from Spain, and they do sort of anatomical stuff and gothic stuff and movie stuff, and it's all this hand engraved. It's totally treated, so it's tactile, but you can touch it and you won't ruin it if you're like me and you're always got peanut butter on your hands. Maybe I wouldn't touch it if you had peanut butter on your hands. But it's so neat, and they just seem like really, really nice people, and I love what they do. And they reached out to me, and if you guys want to pick up something like this, they've got big things and little things, and, make Halloween last all year in your house. You can go to their website. The link is in the description. Use the code ThisExists, and you can get 10% off. And again, it's like a family-run, two people in Spain. It's the kind of business that we should be supporting as, cool people who support small businesses in Spain. So what are you guys watching for Halloween? What are your favorite horror movies of 2017 so far? Let me know in the description. Get at me on Twitter. Check out the Facebook. Subscribe for new episodes of This Exists as often as I can. And be excellent to each other.